Europe has long been viewed as a place where life feels settled and predictable. Historic streets, old neighborhoods, and deep-rooted traditions create the image of stability. For many people around the world, living in a European city represents success, balance, and long-term security. Cities here are often associated with good public services, strong communities, and a slower, more thoughtful way of life. But quietly, this picture is changing. Across Europe, people are leaving cities they once planned to stay in forever. This is not a sudden movement, and it rarely makes headlines. There are no mass exits or dramatic announcements. Instead, people leave slowly. They finish contracts, wait for the right moment, save money, and then move on. Friends notice it later. Neighborhoods feel slightly different. Familiar faces disappear. This shift is not driven by hate or disappointment. Most people who leave still love these cities. They appreciate the culture, the history, and the memories they built there. But love alone is no longer enough to handle the pressure of daily life. Housing, finances, work, stress, and lifestyle imbalance quietly push people to reconsider their choices. What makes this trend important is that it repeats itself across many different countries. Different cultures, different languages, and different systems, yet very similar reasons. The cities mentioned in this video are not failing. They are evolving. And as they change, not everyone can adapt in the same way. This is not a list about the worst cities in Europe. Every city here remains beautiful, influential, and important. This is a realistic look at why some residents are quietly choosing to leave and why the idea of a good life is being redefined. Athens, Greece. Athens is a city where history surrounds everyday life. Ancient ruins stand next to modern apartments, and traditions are deeply woven into daily routines. For a long time, Athens was considered one of the more affordable capital cities in Europe. Life felt slower, more social, and less pressured compared to other major cities. However, long-term economic challenges left deep marks. Even as the city recovered from difficult periods, wages remained low for many professions. Stable employment became harder to find, especially for younger generations. Many jobs offered limited growths, short-term contracts, or uncertain futures. At the same time, living costs slowly increased. Rent prices rose, utilities became more expensive, and everyday expenses added pressure. Saving money felt impossible for many households. Young adults often stayed with family longer than planned, not by choice, but out of necessity. Over time, frustration quietly built up. People did not protest or complain loudly. They adapted for as long as they could. But eventually, many began looking outward. Opportunities in other European countries, remote work options, or smaller cities started to feel more attractive. Leaving Athens was rarely an emotional decision. It was a practical one made after years of uncertainty. Naples, Italy. Naples is a city driven by emotion, tradition, and deep social connections. Life there feels intense and personal. Streets are lively, families are close, and food plays a central role in everyday life. For many people, Naples feels alive in a way few cities do. But living in Naples long-term comes with challenges that are difficult to ignore. Employment stability has always been uncertain. Many jobs are temporary, informal, or poorly paid. career advancement can feel slow, especially for young professionals who want long-term security. Infrastructure problems add to daily stress. Transportation delays, administrative inefficiency, and limited public investment affect routines. These issues may seem small individually, but over time, they create exhaustion. Young residents often grow up deeply attached to the city, but anxious about their future. Many leave quietly, moving north, within Italy, or abroad. Their departure is not about rejecting Naples. It is about finding stability, predictable income, and the ability to plan for the future. Lisbon, Portugal. Lisbon experienced one of the fastest transformations in Europe. Not long ago, it was known as a calm, affordable city with a relaxed pace of life. Locals enjoyed familiar neighborhoods, manageable rents, and a strong sense of community. Then global attention arrived. Tourism increased rapidly. Remote workers and international investors followed. Lisbon became fashionable, and with that popularity came dramatic change. Housing prices rose sharply in a short period of time. Rent doubled in many areas. Long-term residents found themselves competing with short-term rentals and buyers from abroad. Neighborhoods changed character, and familiar places became unrecognizable. Many locals tried to adjust. They downsized, moved farther from the center, or shared housing. But for many, staying eventually became impossible. Leaving was not about dislike. It was about affordability. Lisbon remained beautiful, but no longer accessible to the people who built their lives there. Barcelona, Spain. Barcelona offers one of the most attractive lifestyles in Europe. Beaches, architecture, culture, and food create a vibrant atmosphere that draws people from around the world. Tourism plays a major role in the city's economy. However, constant popularity changed daily life for residents. Central neighborhoods became crowded housing shortages worsened, and rent prices increased steadily. Regulations designed to manage tourism also affected locals, adding complexity to everyday living. Over time, many residents felt overwhelmed. Simple routines like shopping, commuting, or resting at home became stressful. The city still offered beauty and excitement, but less comfort. Quietly, some residents decided that a smaller, less crowded city would offer a better quality of life. Berlin, Germany. Berlin was once seen as one of the easiest European capitals to settle in. It attracted artists, students, entrepreneurs, and professionals from all over the world. The city felt open, flexible, and affordable compared to other major capitals. People could experiment with careers, lifestyles, and creative projects without extreme financial pressure. Over time, this reality changed. Berlin became more popular, and demand for housing increased sharply. Finding an apartment slowly turned into one of the most stressful parts of daily life. Long waiting lists, short-term contracts, and intense competition became normal. Even people with stable jobs struggled to secure long-term housing. As rents increased, the feeling of freedom began to fade. What once felt flexible now felt restrictive. Many residents found themselves spending large portions of their income on housing, leaving little room for savings or personal growth. The city did not lose its creativity, but daily survival became harder. People did not leave Berlin because they stopped loving it. They left because building a stable life became exhausting. Quietly, many relocated to smaller German cities where housing felt achievable and routines felt calmer. Paris, France, Paris continues to represent culture, elegance, and global influence. Living there offers access to art, history, and opportunity. For many, moving to Paris feels like a dream fulfilled. However, long-term life in the city comes with constant pressure. Housing is expensive and limited. Apartments are often small, and space is shared or compromised. High costs affect daily choices, from groceries to transportation. Work schedules are demanding, and maintaining balance requires effort. Over time, exhaustion becomes common. Residents begin to value comfort over prestige. Quiet neighborhoods, larger living spaces, and slower routines become more appealing than central locations. Many people do not leave Paris suddenly. They move gradually, often to nearby cities or towns, maintaining a connection while escaping daily stress. Leaving Paris is rarely about disappointment. It is about choosing a life that feels more sustainable in the long run. Dublin, Ireland. Dublin offers strong job opportunities, particularly in technology, finance, and international business. Many global companies have offices there, attracting workers from across Europe and beyond. For a long time, Dublin represented growth and opportunity. However, housing availability became one of the city's most serious challenges. Rent prices increased rapidly, and suitable accommodation became difficult to find. Many workers accept long commutes because living close to the city is no longer affordable. Daily routines become exhausting when hours are spent traveling. Saving money becomes difficult, even with stable employment. Over time, people begin to question whether the lifestyle makes sense. Some residents move to smaller Irish towns. Others leave the country entirely. Their decision is not driven by lack of opportunity, but by the desire for balance, space, and a manageable daily routine. Prague, Czech Republic. Prague feels timeless. Its historic streets, preserved architecture, and walkable neighborhoods create a strong sense of identity. The city attracts tourists year-round, supporting the economy and global image. But popularity brought pressure. Central areas became crowded, and housing prices increased significantly. Many properties shifted towards short-term rentals, reducing availability for residents. Locals found it harder to remain in neighborhoods where they had lived for years. Daily life changed quietly. Familiar streets felt busier. Rent took a larger share of income. Over time, many residents moved to surrounding areas where life felt calmer and more personal. Prague did not lose its charm, but living there required more compromise than before, and some residents chose simplicity over location. Amsterdam, Netherlands Amsterdam, is often ranked as one of the best cities in Europe for quality of life. It offers safety, strong public transport, clean streets, and a well-organized system. For many people, it represents balance and efficiency. Living in Amsterdam feels structured and reliable. However, space is extremely limited. Demand for housing is very high, while supply remains restricted. Strict regulations protect the city's character, but they also make it difficult to find long-term housing. Even professionals with stable incomes struggle to secure suitable apartments. Rent prices are high, competition is intense, and waiting lists are common. Over time, this pressure affects daily life. Many residents begin to feel that staying requires constant compromise. Quietly, people move to nearby cities where housing is more accessible, while still remaining connected to Amsterdam for work and culture. Rome, Italy, Rome, is unlike any other city. History is part of everyday life. Ancient streets, historic buildings, and cultural landmarks surround residents at all times. Living in Rome can feel meaningful and inspiring. But daily life brings challenges. Bureaucracy moves slowly. Public transportation is unreliable. Administrative processes take time and patience. Economic uncertainty adds pressure, especially for younger residents. Over time, these small frustrations accumulate. People begin to prioritize simplicity and efficiency. While Rome offers beauty, it does not always offer ease. Quietly, some residents leave in search of smoother routines and fewer obstacles in daily life. Stockholm, Sweden. Stockholm is known for organization, cleanliness, and modern infrastructure. The city functions efficiently, and public services are reliable. It consistently ranks high for quality of life and sustainability. However, maintaining that lifestyle comes at a cost. Housing is competitive and prices are high. Expenses for daily living add up quickly. While the system works well, financial pressure remains constant. Some residents decide that life does not need to be perfect to be comfortable. They move to smaller Swedish cities where expenses are lower and balance feels easier to maintain, while still enjoying a strong social system. London, United Kingdom. London represents ambition, diversity, and global opportunity. It attracts people from every corner of the world. Careers grow fast, and possibilities feel endless. But London also demands constant effort. Housing prices are among the highest in Europe. Long commutes are common. Work pressure shapes daily routines. Even successful professionals feel stretched. Most people do not leave London suddenly. They plan quietly. They save money, reassess priorities, and eventually choose places where time, space, and peace feel more available. Leaving London is often about redefining success rather than escaping failure. Across you! This pattern repeats itself. Cities are not empty, and they are not collapsing. They are changing. As demand increases and lifestyles evolve, people reassess what matters most. For some, staying in big cities still makes sense. For others, a quieter life offers better balance. This movement is not loud, dramatic, or sudden. It is thoughtful, gradual, and deeply personal. European cities will always remain important cultural and economic centers, but quietly, without headlines or attention, many people are choosing new paths. Not because these cities lost their beauty, but because daily life now requires balance, stability, and peace.